Let's go. In and out. 20 minutes adventure.
So this is Apex Legends, a free-to-play battle royale that's almost single-handedly killed any hope for Titanfall 3, and for that, it will never see the light of heaven. This game was shadow dropped back in 2019 and immediately grabbed a massive player base. I watched the trailer as it dropped while I was sitting in the middle of a college class, then I rushed back to my dorm to install it, only to realize that my CPU was so old the game literally couldn't even open properly. But now I'm older, wiser, more tired, and about 40 pounds fatter, and I'm able to run the game at a full 1080p with low settings. What a world. Funnily enough, my wife is actually the one who got me to reinstall Apex after not playing for the last few years. I mean, I just needed a distraction from the old ball and chain, am I right, fellas? Oh, hey. What do you do? Hey, ow! 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 So Apex is essentially a hero shooter battle royale FPS thing, and if I have to explain any of those concepts to you, one, too bad, and two, genuinely, how did you find this video? Over the years, Respawn has made 28 unique legends with different abilities, strengths, weaknesses, and personalities. Initially, you only have the choice between 3 different legends with the ability to slowly unlock or purchase more over time, which is really stingy if you ask me. But I guess to be kind of fair, it's not quite as big a deal as the same thing would be in a hero shooter like Overwatch. Legends do have abilities that can drastically change the way you play, but this isn't Overwatch where if a certain character is meta and your team doesn't have them, then you're going to get your cheeks clapped harder than D.Va in that one clip that I definitely never watched. Abilities in this game are important, but at least in my opinion as a pretty casual player, really secondary to gunplay. There would be almost no scenario in which a bad player playing a meta legend would win against a good player with the worst legend in a legitimate gunfight. Unless that bad player happens to be running a care package L-Star and Axel's ultimate, then you might as well just unplug your controller, but hey, that might just be a skill issue on my part. Either way, good positioning, movement, teamwork, and aim especially are essential to success. Knowing where your legend's abilities shine and playing to their strengths is huge. For example, a legend like Watson, who can put down electrified fences, is great for holding down a building or a hallway, not so much for fighting out in an open field. And a legend like Octane is amazing for speeding across opening fields and rotating and repositioning your team, not quite so useful for fights in small buildings unless you enjoy slamming your face into a solid steel wall at Mach 10. Also, keep in mind that, at least in the standard Battle Royale modes, your abilities can be upgraded in certain ways, so take a look at what all your legend can do and what upgrades would best suit how you want to play them. But once you find a legend whose abilities suit your playstyle, you can't rely on those alone. It's time to focus on the actual gunplay and combat. There are a wide variety of weapons and attachments that you can loot from around the map, and every gun you can wield all sound and feel incredible. I'm not trying to overly glaze the game here, but Apex Legends gunplay and really its sound design are some of the best I've ever experienced in any shooter. You can really tell this is the same team that made Titanfall 1 and 2. Just listen to the sound of landing every bullet in the mag and taking down a fully shielded enemy. Oh, that bing, 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 bing,
Bing, bing, bing, bing, bing, bong.
bing, 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 crack, noise. Oh, it's so good. It's so damn satisfying. But unfortunately, if you're anything like me, you won't be hearing that exact sound nearly as much as you'd hope. Because here's something that matters to me whenever I try out really any PvP game, but especially a super competitive one like Apex. Can I still enjoy the game if I have the aiming ability and game sense of an orangutan and a tumble dryer? The answer is yes, mostly. As this game has been out for well over 7 years now, there are some absolute demons on the sticks in some of these lobbies. I'm talking people who have fused to their gaming chairs and will have sent you back to the lobby before you can even process what happened. This game can be hard. I consider myself maybe slightly above average at FPS games, and I get dunked on often and brutally. Movement, aim sense, and the ability to properly use the abilities of each legend has such a high skill ceiling that the differences differences between a bad player, a decent player, and a great player can be drastic, especially with the movement meta that's dominating at least the non-pro levels. But I do think that Apex does a pretty good job of giving new or lower skilled players some options. There's a great firing range to practice with all the different legends and weapons, a classic mixtape mode, which is a sort of arcadey respawn game mode in a smaller map that lets you get some more concentrated combat experience. There's a battle royale mode called Bot Royale, I think. I'm not looking at it in front of me and I forgot to write it down, but it's filled with bots that put up about as much resistance as a Democratic political candidate.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
And my absolute favorite mode in this game, and the thing that has kept me itching to requeue for just one more match way longer than I'm supposed to, is
Wildcard, bitches!
Wildcard is, in my opinion, as a pretty casual player, the best version of the Apex experience. It's basically a faster paced version of the normal Battle Royale modes, which I'm remembering now I never bothered to explain, but you know what it is. You pick a spot on the map, you jump out the ship, you look for weapons and ammo and meds and other stuff scattered all over, and try to eliminate the enemy teams as the safe zone gets smaller and smaller. Where Wildcard shines is in streamlining this for a more casual, frenetic, and, in my opinion, fun experience. You pick up ammo, grenades, and batteries to recharge your overshield automatically when you run over them. And as the match goes on, you can equip certain wildcards that grant you different abilities that might change the way you play and make you more powerful. But the real kicker is that if you're downed by another player, your teammates can still revive you, but if an enemy finishes you off,
Pause.
all your team has to do to bring you back is survive for a certain amount of time. This means that especially early on in the match, you can afford to be a lot more aggressive in taking fights and trying out new strategies without worrying about throwing the game or screwing over your team. It's a perfect mix of the low stakes, fast paced, mixtape TDM style modes while still having to manage the risk of being eliminated and having your team taken out of the game. Plus, and this may be because my skill level is, let's say, lacking, but I do get a good deal of bots, or, well, I assume they're bots. They're either bots or they're players who may as well be bots in this mode. Either way, it's a fantastic way to practice for the standard Battle Royale mode and learn how to take gunfights and win them more often without having to just hot drop in Battle Royale, immediately have a level 2000 octane Thanos snap your entire team, and then have to requeue into a new match. And while playing this mode, I've learned how to play a wider variety of legends and how to win more gunfights by training my aim and thinking about my positioning and abilities. The point is that yes, mastering movement and aiming in Apex is more important than ever, but that doesn't mean there isn't room to use your brain and think strategically in order to win fights. But once the match is over and we're back to the lobby, we're reminded of far and away my least favorite part of the game: the monetization. Seriously, Apex Legends is like 2 bad decisions away from being kind of like Call of Duty or like a cheap mobile game almost. I mean, look at this store page. On the surface, it doesn't look too out of the ordinary. Battle Pass, premium currency, deluxe skins, yada 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 yada. Yes, there's no reason any individual game skin should be priced at $20 American, but unfortunately, that's kind of par for the course at this point. But the stuff that really annoys me is, well, there's a few things, but one is the ultra premium deluxe battle pass, which of course can't be purchased with the in-game currency you can earn with the normal premium pass, and must be bought with real money every, I wrote 90 days, I'm not positive that's right, I think it's like 6 weeks or so. This has a couple of goodies locked behind it over the normal pass, including exclusive variants of character skins, meaning that Respawn has a pretty big incentive to intentionally make the base skins ever so slightly less appealing. Along with this, each legend can be earned for free, which is great, but the process is really slow, to the point where I still don't have all of them after hundreds of hours of gameplay. And EA has removed any editions of the game that come with every legend that they used to sell. Sure, you can just outright buy them for like around $7 a pop, but hey, look at that. If you pay for the extra premium pass, you have every legend unlocked for that entire season. What a funny coincidence how that works. There's also the Apex packs, which are basically just Overwatch's loot boxes. These are fun little bonuses to get for free every few level ups, but they're also the only way to get the most coveted item in the entire game: heirloom shards.
Young Mystic. Whoa!
Heirloom Heirlooms are... Okay, so you know how like almost every FPS game that lets you unequip your weapons gives you like some sort of knife or melee weapon with optional expensive variants and skins? Respawn saw that and said, hey, why don't we just take those out entirely and lock them behind a gambling mechanic in order to get players to pay exorbitant amounts of money for the chance to even get one of these cosmetic goodies for a single character. I know there are universal heirlooms, whatever. There are two ways to guarantee an heirloom. One, buy out an event pass, which would cost around $160, unless you get insanely lucky and open up a couple packs and have it drop without spending a dime, no big deal. Or two, open anywhere from 1 to 500 Apex packs, with each pack costing around $1, and wait for heirloom shards to drop. Once you get your heirloom shards, congratulations, you can now buy a single mythic item from the mythic shop, from a selection of a large amount of character skins, weapon skins, and the standard melee heirlooms. So unless you're willing to max out multiple credit cards, or you have the type of disposable income where you need to be worried about what the underclass will do to you when the revolution comes, you're not getting more than a couple of these even after hundreds of hours. I got my first heirloom at almost 600 hours played, and that wasn't even me hitting the 500 pack pity system. That was just me getting insanely lucky. If I was, say, I don't know, an Octane main or whatever, and I wanted his mythic skin and heirloom along with a mythic skin for my favorite gun, I could easily spend around $1,500 just on that. And yes, of course, you don't need these things to enjoy the game, and there is an argument to be made that developers need to make money to keep the servers online and pay developers and all that, but this is just egregious. The fact that the game constantly encourages you to open up just a couple more packs and gamble with your money for something good, or dump insane amounts of money to guarantee what you want, it just feels pretty crappy. And also, hey, Respawn? Giving us the opportunity to drop even more insane amounts of money on your game is not worthy of the title of an event. You want my advice? If you get into this game and want to drop a couple bucks on it, just buy the $10 base version of the Battle Pass. It always comes with some fun cosmetics, some free packs, and enough premium currency to always afford the next pass if you complete it, plus a little extra, so you could save up for another item in the shop or something. That, at the very least, seems like a decent deal if you're really loving the game and playing regularly. If you do get heirloom shards eventually, definitely get a universal heirloom, because odds are you're not getting another one anytime soon. But generally, put the idea of getting an heirloom out of your mind. I feel like the game can tell when you want it too badly and it just decides like, nah.
Okay, so as someone who actually understands this game and actively watches the pro circuit on a regular basis, I could spend all day making minor corrections to what he just said, but for the most part, this is pretty accurate. That said, I'll go over some of the stuff he missed real quick. First, while skins, banners, and holo sprays are common pack rewards, you can also complete small weapon challenges to earn other cosmetic rewards. There's little challenges that let you earn badges that you can display on your player card that are pretty sought after. These are things such as badges for high-ranked levels, such as an Apex Predator badge, wins on multiple legends, the 4K damage badge, and a 20 bomb. Which, if you don't know, it essentially means you wiped out at least a third of the lobby solo while your teammates did absolutely jack squat. Of course, the elusive dual level 69 badges. But as cool as badges and cosmetics are, team composition is one of the most fundamentally important aspects of the game. As Ben talked about before, every legend has unique abilities, and while these are important, gunplay is the ultimate base of the game. Well, that and teamwork.
There is no I in team, but there is a U in cunt. So don't be little jealous cunts, okay? Let me get the praise and just be satisfied with the fact that you will get the runoff.
It's important to understand what your goal is as a team and structure your squad legends around that. If you want to be aggressive, focus on being able to loot and rotate fast. Mobility legends will be your best friend here. If you want to play it safe, play defensive legends that can shield your team in lockdown areas. And if you're anything like Ben when hopping into rank, your options are play safe and go for position, or be aggressive and lose so many ranked points that Respawn has to create a whole new bottom rank for your story behind. Beyond all this, there's actually a good amount of lore in Apex behind the world and its characters. It's kind of too bad that they just stopped caring about it. We don't really see much of it anymore these days, but hey, at least all the old stuff is there. And finally, this might be a bit of a controversial take, but if you want to have a chill, fun session, just turn off voice chat. Seriously, the pinging system in Apex is one of the best I have ever seen in a game, which will help you coordinate with your teammates non-verbally, but for whatever reason, Apex seems to bring out the worst in people. So unless you want to hear a fully grown man screaming that you stole his kill despite the fact that you have 3 times his damage and landed a dozen shots on the enemy, you're gonna want to mute everyone. Seriously, it's just not worth the hassle.
And that's basically it. Apex Legends is a really fun game. It's not perfect, but record player numbers and the fact that I kept recording footage for this video long past the point where it was necessary tells me that it's doing a lot right. There's lots of little nuances that I haven't gone into here, like the badges or oh, that's an old version of the script. I did go into some of those things. But if you never bothered to try out Apex Legends, I'd encourage you to give it a shot. The legend designs and kits are neat, the gunplay, movement, and sound design are all rock solid, and the game overall just has a great feel that, outside of replaying Titanfall 2, is hard to find anywhere else. My wife and I have started playing it together again after years away from the game, and it's a ton of fun. Give it a shot if it's your cup of tea, or, I'm not your mom, so do whatever you want, you don't have to. Yeah, no one's watching at this point. I really need to actually finish writing my scripts and not just assume I'll improv the outro. No one's watching past this point anyway. I think the average watch time on these videos is like 3 to 5 minutes, so there's no way anyone's still watching. It doesn't matter that this is bad, but if you are, first of all, sorry, and second of all, subscribe if you like the video and like it, and let me know if you want to see more. That's it. All right, appreciate you guys. See you next time.